Hey, what's good, everybody? This is Earl from the 14 Rings NFC East podcast, and I'm here to bring you another episode of Barbershop Talk with JT. I'm also JT. I'm going to be touch basing on the Dallas Cowboys matchup against the Chicago Bears, Week 3 on Sunday around 4:25 p.m., 4:30 Eastern Standard Time on Fox. One thing that I wanted to first express is that I'm glad Dallas got the dub this past Sunday, and hopefully they can bounce back and learn from what they did, common mistakes, improve, and be better going into this matchup against the Chicago Bears, where I also know that it's not going to be an easy task, especially with Ben Johnson still trying to get his first victory as the Bears head coach. And there's also Matt Eberflus returning to Chicago, where he was a head coach for them for previous years. But with that being said, I'm interested to see how Eberflus is going to rework this defense to be better than what they were last week. And that's kind of what I'm going to be touching my first base on, is where I'm going to go through the key things to look for in this matchup. Dallas Cowboy fans, I definitely know last week was one where we were at the edge of our seat and realizing what was going on with the defense. And just to be fair, I know I kind of grilled Donovan Wilson in this previous episode where it was just a miscommunication in the back end for pretty much all the corners and safeties, where I think Eberflus should have been better getting these guys in better position and communicating. And I think communication was heavily off in this matchup against the Giants, where one, I believe they didn't take the Giants seriously, and the Giants was like, all right, bet. And they pretty much it was an air show, and they made Russell Wilson turn back the clock, so to speak. We just got to see how he does against the Chiefs and see to make sure it's not an asterisk. But the defense really was kind of the highlight where it seemed like they couldn't stop a cold last week. So my key situation is that they're going to have a bounce back game from this previous game where communication is going to be at a high level, where I believe they need to fix the explosion plays. They got to minimize the big plays. That's been hurting Dallas, and they really need to end it. It's to the point now where the safeties got to be on their cues to stay back, and if the corner takes off the receiver and allows the safety to make a play, then so be it. Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson, you have to be better playing safety. Diggs, he's still recovering off an injury where he is getting back into the mold of things, so it's going to take time. But I'm glad to see him out there on the field. Dallas Cowboys got to minimize the big plays. And I know DaRon Bland's coming off injury where he may end up coming back, but I would just wait for him to come back for week 4 when we play against the Packers. That's going to be a bigger matchup where I definitely know we need him for. And the receivers over at the Green Bay are a bunch of wide receiver twos, but they're really good wide receiver twos. They have speed all over the field. So we definitely need all hands on deck for that matchup. Even for this matchup here against the Chicago Bears, where 2 of their top receivers, Rome Odunze, working in his second year. Then you have DJ Moore, who was a trade acquisition to the Bears from Carolina. Both of those guys can make plays. They're big play waiting to happen. And I just want Dallas to be on their P's and Q's to make sure that they understand the assignments where they keep these guys tame. It was just too much that took place last week where the communication was off. I need everybody talking to everybody. All phases on the field, communication is key. That's the one key point I have for this matchup, as well as making sure that all players are playing at a physical pace, which that means I need to see Maris Leafau out there as well. He has the younger legs, he has the juice, and he has the physicality with him as well. Sanborn, I know he wants to have his get back against Chicago, but at the same time, you got to put the best player out there on the field. And I think Maris is one of those guys that need to play in this game to build off of his rookie campaign, where when he was out there on the field last season, well, Cowboy fans, we barely talked about DeMarion Overshown when he got hurt. Maris really held it down. And I definitely need him to add more to his resume and show that I believe he's the true linebacker one for the Cowboys. So hopefully I get a chance to see more of Maris Leafau in this matchup. I think it's going to be really key, especially with their tight ends, as well as Colston Loveland from rookie out of Michigan. He's another guy that can stretch the field. Yeah, he didn't get much tick, but with how the tight end was moving last week, I can see them trying to get Colston going. So I really hope to see more linebackers in coverage, as well as being able to lay the physicality impact on them as well, just to kind of keep things under wraps. Ben Johnson, he's a creative mastermind, and when he was with Detroit, he had a bunch of skill position guys that would hit their head on the goalpost at any point in time. He would even get the linemen involved. So Dallas, I really want you to be on your understanding P's and Q's to make sure that you keep all this big play abilities from anybody on the field, even the linemen, keep them tame. And I think Kenny Clark and those guys up front can really do that. Solomon Thomas had a really good game last week. Kenny Clark as well. He's getting the mold. He's getting the feel of the star. And I just hope that they're able to continue to build off what they did last week, where better pressure. And the edges, I forgot about y'all in the episode of 14 Rings, but this time around, I need to see better play from you guys, especially applying pressure. Set the edge. Stop the run. You guys can do that. We just signed Jadeveon Clowney. He's going to be one of our edge guys. I would not mind seeing him and Marshawn Nealon out there starting, and then have Fowler as well as Ezraku coming off the bench. They have to learn. And I would see Clowney as a guy, a veteran presence that can actually help these guys in what they need to accomplish, especially with setting the edge. It's key, and I'm glad to have Clowney in Dallas. Welcome to the star, Jadeveon Clowney. The last point that I have with this is I really hope Eberflus got these guys in a 6-hour session, understanding the miscommunications of what they did. And I hope he lays into them on the understanding that communication is key. And the rest of this season, Eberflus, you got to show the reason why they brought you in as a defensive coordinator. Because I saw some things what took place from 2020 where Mike Nolan was the defensive coordinator. He had guys that he could work with, but really could not get the guys where they needed to be, and he was gone after one season. Eberflus, I got to see more from you. And I know it's more games, but every game matters, and I want to see the very best that you can come up with this defense. The potential is there. All they have to do is minimize the big plays, and we're cooking. So defense, I think you're going to have a better game in this matchup, Cowboys Nation. I believe the defense is going to play better in this game around, kind of lock some of the big plays up. You just got to have faith that they can achieve it, and I believe they can. I'm going to shift over to the offensive side of the ball, where from the offense, I thought they did things really well, especially with the run game. Javonte Williams was doing his thing. He almost cracked 100 yards, but he did have all-purpose yards as well, over 100, and he was able to get into the end zone as well. I think with what Javonte Williams has done, we have to pair him with the RB1. No doubt in my mind, Williams is an RB2, but I really think we need to trade for that RB1. I have a list of names that I would want to, and I'm gonna aim beyond the stars with it. I would not mind seeing Dallas trade for a Bijan Robinson or a Jonathan Taylor or even an Alvin Kamara. Those are the top of my list. I want to see Dallas utilize some of these picks that they have and ship them over to a team who's willing to get rid of a guy or to bring a guy in, bring the bling in that can help this team. No doubt in my mind, Williams is a guy, but he's thunder. Go out there and get your lightning. And when I was talking about how the media and beat writers, I'm talking about those passive writers and beat writers who are stat nerd quality and so on. I really can't stand you guys devaluing the running back position. It's one that we need to get that true running back in here. With y'all devaluing the running back room, especially with the running backs, you're failing to realize what the DNA of the Dallas Cowboys were when they won their championships. They had a Tony Dorsett. They had an Emmitt Smith, NFL all-time leading rusher. And you're telling me Dallas don't need a running back? No, you're killing me with that algorithm of just saying that Dallas, we don't need to value the running back position. We have the passing that's happening with Dak Prescott. He's got CeeDee Lamb. He's got George Pickens. He's got Jake Ferguson. He has guys he can throw the ball to. Yeah, that's the offense, but that's not our DNA. And Cowboy fans, we have that in our mindset that passing is going to get us the way to get to where we need to go. No, it's running the football, physicality. That's needed. Dallas Cowboy fans, we're too passive. We need to be under the same room and making sure that, look, when we get this running back, we need to treat it as a guy that can get us where we need to go. This running back one could be the missing piece to this team going very far this season. We've seen other oppositions do it. They got better. They added. And we saw one of our enemies take that guy all the way to the championship and win the thing. I just want us to get back to our DNA. That is key. And in this game against the Bears, I want to see more of a run first. Create the physicality from there. Wear down the defense. I know there's some guys on the defense for the Bears that may not play. I know Jalen Johnson, he's out of this game, but they still have Kevin Byard there. I know he's past his prime a bit, but at the same time, he can still play. He's always had his big games against Dallas in some way, shape, or form. So Dallas, take advantage of the secondary for the Bears. They're weak right now. And we got CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. I definitely could see them having a big game and continuing to create the chemistry that's there with the two. And seeing Cavante Turpin practice today, I think he might be a go. They're going to see how he goes tomorrow and see what happens on Saturday. But I think he should be, I think more than likely he'll be ready for game time. But hopefully they're able to kind of ease him back into things because he had a neck injury that looked like it was serious, but come to find out all the info and all the information was clean. So I'm happy to see Turpin back on the field practicing. He was an X factor in this last game, and I definitely wouldn't mind seeing him be another X factor in the matchup against the Bears. Because if you're shorthanded on some of your corners, you got to pick your poison on if you're going to cover Lamb or Pickens. I just want Turpin to be that X factor that really can add more to the offense. I've seen him do things at running back. I've seen him do things in the slot. He's definitely that guy that can really make the big plays happen. And for the offensive line, I really want them to be physical. And with BB being out for 6 to 8 weeks, Brock Hoffman is under center. And I want this offensive line to build on physicality. We're running the football first. No doubt in my mind, the passing will come. But at the same time, we need to continue to establish the run game and to be able to figure out who's going to be that lightning for Javonte Williams. Because we need a 1-2 punch with Javonte Williams and some other guy. If it's Miles Sanders, he's got to show it. He hasn't shown too much right now. Even though he got a touchdown last week, he needs to show more. I understand he had a 50-yard gain against the Eagles, but he got chased down by a linebacker. If we have a lightning, no doubt in my mind, I think they could take it to the house. I'm very interested in what they have with Jadon Blue. I think Jadon Blue is not fitting the mentality role that Coach Schottenheimer is trying to bring. I haven't seen him yet. And maybe he's not ready yet. And if that's the case, so be it. But get somebody in here who can have the physicality and have the speed. I know I named the 3 guys that I did there, but I also have another 3 that I wouldn't mind seeing Dallas trade for. Travis Etienne from Jacksonville, or even Devon Achane from the Dolphins. Those guys are kind of ones of fire sales. If they're not having much of a good season, I can see them wheeling and dealing. But any one of those guys will be really key, or even Kenneth Walker from Seattle. I like what he brings. I'm just looking for a guy that can make the plays when it happens, while Javonte Williams is the bruiser. Sonic and Knuckles, Lightning and Thunder, the 1-2 combo, whatever you name it, is there. We just got to find that RB1. Dallas Cowboys, y'all know what to do. Don't be complacent with your picks. Go ahead, start wheeling and dealing. We need it. Cowboys Nation, we need it. And we need to continue to speak on it. Hashtag trade for RB1. Dallas, you know what to do. So with that being said, that's kind of pretty much the info that I have for this matchup. I know it's one where the defense, they got to fix their communication. They got to be better in sync. And Eberflus, don't let your emotions get high coming back to Chicago. You know what you got to do. You got to fulfill the mission. And on the offense side of the ball, we got to create a physicality with the run game and then attack with the passing as well. But have an overall balanced game plan against the Chicago Bears. It won't be easy. It's going to be a hard-fought matchup, but I believe Dallas can take this. I think in my in my predictions, I had Dallas beating the Chicago Bears, and I'm going to continue to stand on it. Cowboys Nation, thank you so much for your time checking out the Barbershop Talk. If you like what you saw, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 1,000 for our 14 Rings NFC East podcast. We're trying to hit that 1,000 mark. It's really key. And if you guys like what you saw, definitely share it with some friends, family. Yeah, we're just on our way. We're getting there. And I really appreciate the family with that as well. But yeah, thank you. Thanks again for tuning into the channel. If you like what you saw, you can definitely follow us on our social and media page as well for 14 Rings NFC East podcast. You can check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Apple Radio, Spotify. Thanks for tuning in. JT Wolf out. Please.